Hey guys, it's Travis with Beyond Quotas, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to touch on the relationship between success and a positive mindset, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. We're also going to talk about self-talk. So I think you'll find some value in it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome back to Beyond Quotas. We are talking about mindset today, guys, and it's going to be an interesting one. I think we have some really good tips, but not only that, but stories about mindset and the value about it, right? So, professionally, personally, however you want to look at it, mindset is super critical because it's amazing how your mind can control so many things. Not only what you're thinking of, but how your body responds to things that you do, right? Do you ever see your mind being stronger than your body at times?
Oh yeah.
And why?
Well, like you said, the mind controls the body.
Right?
There's a lot of times, like for instance, the one thing that comes to mind is the gym or any kind of physical activity. Your mind can go. Typically, I take that back. Your mind usually goes 1st and the body can go a little bit further. But if you switch the fact that training your mind to exceed those limits, that's the biggest thing. Is if you can switch your mind from positive or from negative to positive, you're always going to exceed your limits in that respect. But I don't know, does that answer your question?
No, and that makes sense. I mean, if I look at it and touching more onto the gym part, right? Like, so if I was to think about a story or just in general, like a scenario that really is valuable when you think about the gym, there's athletes out there today that on a given day they struggle with hitting plateaus, getting to a point where they're not achieving their goals, and they have to really look back at their program and determine what it is. So they might look at their program and say, is it my diet? Could it be my workout schedule? Could it be the supplements that I'm taking? These are all variables that many athletes think about. But sometimes they forget the low-hanging fruit, which is the most simplest thing to really pay attention to, which is your mind and the mindset that you put into your work. Because, for example, if an athlete is doing all the right things within their program, he or she's program, for let's just say a month of a time period, they're eating their diet plan is where it's supposed to be. Their workout schedule is what they are focused on, and it's to achieve their goal. And their supplements are catered to their needs.
Yep.
But if you walk into the gym and your mindset's not in place, crazy enough, it makes a difference on how much weight you can put up, how much time you spend in the gym, how much of that percentage that you spend in the gym is actually active workout versus dormant workout. What does that mean, right? So active workout is when your actual bodies and muscles and the triggers that are supposed to get to your accomplished goal is actually performing and working. Whereas rather it being dormant, and yes, it can be dormant even if you're in the gym and actually utilizing it, it can sit dormant because your mind can control it enough to basically say that to itself. So if I'm in the gym and I'm doing chest day and I put up, whatever, let's say 135 pounds, just as an example, right? And I'm struggling to do 15 reps of that, but then the next day I do the same thing and I can put up 20 to 25 reps of that, or increase the weight and do those 15 reps, but with increased weight. What's the difference? If my diet's the same, my supplements are the same, my program is the same, what's the difference? It's my mind.
Yep.
Right? Because now I've actually am focused. And it's so true. I mean, many people think about what are some of the catalysts that they use when they're in the gym. Well, for me, it's music. That's the thing that really kind of drives me. Other people, it's looking at themselves in the mirror, right? There's all kinds of, but there's all kinds of catalysts for people. But for me, it's music. I literally can go and I mean, it almost becomes like a destruction for my workout day if my music is not playing. I don't care about the gym music. It just is not relevant because it's not my tunes. It's not the stuff that I need to fuel me to go, right? But it helps in kind of spearheading what my mind is saying to myself. So I can literally, I've done it. Like this past week, I was at the gym doing back workout, and I had the music playing and stuff, but my mind wasn't there. Because why? I was thinking about work, I was thinking about home, I was thinking about all kinds of things, that when I started actually doing the workout, I was struggling, and my body didn't even feel strong or tight or pumped or nothing. It wasn't working. The next day, I was more clear because all that shit that I had dealt with the day before went away. And so the next day I came in and I was solely focused. My mind was clear, and I had such a great performance of the day. Mindset is so key in many things that you do, right?
Well, to kind of extend that gym analogy, and like a lot of us, it's funny whenever you get it under a certain weight, you're like, what's it? They always say like, lightweight, easy weight, and whatever, like piece of cake. The moment
who's that workout guy? Ronnie
Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman, right? Yeah.
Lightweight,
yeah.
But a lot of times, if you get under a certain weight that you've never done before, and you start thinking like, whoa, it's gonna be heavy. Jeez. You start getting, and then it becomes heavy because you've suggested it to your mind it's going to be heavy. Your body reacts to it. Also, it's weird how, certain ways, especially I think it's chest is usually, like for whatever reason, I'll have, like if we're working out together, I'll have to say, hey, just, I don't want you to get underneath it, and I just want your hands nearby, underneath it. Right. Because in my mind, you're there, so it now becomes easy.
Right.
I'll do 3 or 4, 5 reps or whatever without even trying. But it was just a suggestion, the fact that you're there. Right. And again, I think that's just kind of put it all together. I've heard it said that the typical person talks to himself 50,000 times a day. That seems like a lot.
50,000
times a day.
Wow. Okay.
And it's thoughts, suggestions, whatever. 80% of all information that we consume or talk or whatever is negative. 80%.
Wow.
And we've touched on this on a previous episode, but the mind is basically there for survival. It's to protect you. It's negative. Everything is negative. The things are going to go on. It wants to make sure you're protected. That way, if we go into, let's just say, a sales situation, we walk in, there's a chance we're going to be rejected.
Yeah.
So we get nervous about that. Why do we get nervous? Because thousands and thousands of years ago, in tribes, if you were rejected, you died. You weren't in a part of the tribe. So we get kind of worried about this whole rejection thing. But again, it all starts with the fact that, like, what if? And if we can switch our mind to the positive, everything you've ever done successfully in your life, if you look back and really analyze it, chances are pretty good you felt good going into it and you performed well. Like, have you ever sat in a sales scenario? You go in feeling positive. Hey, this is going to be great. And halfway through it, you're thinking to yourself, like, I wish I could hover above myself and write this shit down, because, damn, I'm saying some good stuff. But it all came down to the fact that you were positive walking in. You had no doubts. You were prepared. You were ready, and you knocked it out of the park. And that's what kills most of it, especially in sales. I think having that mindset of being scared. The what if factor. What if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't work out? What if they say this? What if they say that? Well, what if it goes right? What if things do go right? What if you go and ask that girl out and she says yes? Think about those things, because that fuels you up. And unfortunately, with every negative input, we have to have 5 positives to negate it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so it kind of goes into the aspect of, surrounding yourself with positive people. Like, do an inventory about the people you hang around with. I'm very much, I've purged a lot of, friends in the past. Great friends, but everything out of their mouth was negative.
Yeah.
And that affects me. And unfortunately, I can't be around that. I need to be around people that are, positive, people that are, talk about goals, people talk about, different books they're reading, anything that and everything that's good. I want to be around that because the mind is very susceptible to suggestion. So the more we suggest to it, the more it doesn't register, if it's true or not. The subconscious. Right. It just gets commands and, believes it. Obviously, it goes and creates the reality. But that's the biggest thing, at least for me, anyway.
Yeah, and you make a valid point with the whole inventory part. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times people might feel like that's a selfish comment because, why would you not be happy with what surrounded you? But it goes to your point. Well, if I surround myself with negativity, why would I be happy with that, right? Mm-hmm. If I have individuals that are concentrating on 90% of their conversations being about how the world is so horrible or about their life being so horrible or how things don't work out this way, what are you doing to change it? I'm trying to give you some insight and some assistance with that. But if you don't wish to take my suggestions and or trying to make a change in your own self, why am I here or why are we friends, right? Yeah. So it's harsh, but it's reality. It should be done. I think it's valuable because it helps you grow as a person as well so that you learn to grow that confidence and build that mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And I will just say one more example because it just hit me when you were talking about it is at the bar. So let's think about men. Men have the biggest challenge in the world when they're at the bar, approaching a woman. Okay. So we've gone to bars together from time to time, and we've sat and we're people watchers, right? So so if anybody doesn't know, me and Travis are people watchers. So we can sit there all day and have.
We are judging you.
We are judging you. Yes, we can sit at the bar for hours and drinks, and just have cocktails and not do a thing, but just people watch, right? And it's just fun. But as we're people watching, we're watching. It's like a sports event, right? Mm-hmm. You're seeing. Team A, or like if it's like a tennis player, like, okay, here comes Douglas. He's coming in and he's standing 5'10", and, and he's got all the confidence in the world. And his mindset's there. Okay. He's going there and he's approaching every girl. He's doing law of averages. He's just whatever sticks, and he's so confident with the way that he approaches women that he's successful with it because his mindset's there. He doesn't think that there is room for failure. And if there is room for failure, he dusts it off and he moves on to the next one. But then you have, Taylor coming in and he's saying, he's shaking. He's in the corner. He's thinking about so many things that what should be the right, opener? What's an icebreaker? What should I say? Should I even go ahead? Should I offer a drink? Should I not offer a drink? What do I, should I talk to this guy first and maybe him guide me to another girl? Whatever. These are all things that run through these guys' minds, right? And Taylor now struggles because his mindset's not there. He's not positive. He's not affirmed, and he's toast, right? Because at the end of the day, he's going to walk up there and women, as much as us as predators when we're in the bar and they're the prey, it's just reality. I'm going to put it out there. You guys can call me out for the titles as you wish, but
you feminists don't reach out to me.
Right, exactly. But Taylor's going out there and he's ready to attack. They sense that. Women sense that and realize that. They'll look at. We were at a bar.
Yeah,
and we were watching.
Gonna bring that up.
Bring it up. I mean, this guy was. Talk about it, man.
The creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And here's the thing: like women and men, if you're the single type and you want some advice, see somebody, immediately act. Because women pick up on the fact that whether or not, and this is the weirdest thing that I've heard and like freaked me out for a while after I realized this, women have peripheral vision, so they can see you from over here. Yeah. They're talking to their girlfriend. They already know you're right there. You're looking straight at them. Right. They understand this. Yeah. So it's best to go ahead and do it because at the end of the day, they see you, and if you're hesitant, they look at that as weakness.
Absolutely.
So this guy, we'll call him Taylor. He's sitting there. We're in the bar. He's on the other end, and there's two girls off to his left, literally 15 feet away, max, I think.
Right.
And he's kind of pacing back and forth, here, and then like kind of a side stare, like, like just, I'm like, dude, like what? You can't be, I mean, that's obvious, man.
Right.
And you can tell that they're looking at him.
Right.
And like he is done, but the entire night, he would shift over a foot every 15, 20 minutes, just another foot, like
Another
just to
nudge.
trying to get close and close to maybe like somehow like the stars will align and they'll say something to him or whatever.
That's it. Yep.
And here is like the first guy, Douglas, you mentioned. 5'10", he's 2 inches shorter than women like to get him, and he's got the confidence. He's saying the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. We talked about this. I'm like, dude, are you freaking serious? How the hell does that shit work?
Right.
But the thing is he had confidence.
Right.
They were attracted to that, but it's the same thing with sales. You don't like. We put so much emphasis on what do I say, that we forget the 97% of communication, the confidence, the aura, the mindset, and everything else that comes with it.
Right.
The words, nobody really remembers words anyway.
Right.
But yeah, that guy at the end of the bar, like, oh my God, like, and it just got worse. and to the point where like, damn, son, like I almost wanted to walk over to him and say, look, man, just walk over, make an observation about what's going on around the surroundings.
Right.
Hello, how are you? My name is, Taylor.
Shoot, I was ready to just grab him and just pull him over and be like, look, this is Taylor, and he's really interested in you guys. He's just having a hard time with it. Can you guys have a conversation with him?
Yeah.
Would you be interested? Whatever, right? But listen, at the end of that night, this poor kid ended up going on that outside, if you remember that little like outside porch little thing cover that they had, and he sat out there with another buddy of his just hanging out, kind of like almost like defeated, right?
Yeah.
But he never even played the game to be even defeated because he never approached.
Yeah.
So it's a hilarious situation. It's the mindset, and we're putting all these examples out there. We're putting stories that you guys can relate to because it's reality. It's it's so reality. So any closing arguments or any closing statements?
No, I mean that's the biggest thing is just having that mindset of when you're going out, and we'll kind of keep on that thread there. You get dressed because chances are you want to meet somebody. Women do it obviously all the time, but they'll say that, hey, I'm doing it for me, but no, you're not. You're doing it to gain attention and whatnot. Again, feminists, please don't reach out and yell at us. Right. But we put on a certain type of clothes to get attention. We have the mindset, I'm going to go out and have a good time.
Right.
We have a mindset of, especially if we're single, I may meet somebody there. Hopefully going to the right places and everything else, but I may meet somebody. Just, if nothing else, having the mindset of like, look, I'm going to meet somebody, I'm going to have a good conversation. It may not come out well. I mean, God knows I've fumbled through some words and everything else, and I still do it all the time. I'll get fast in my speech,
right?
But then I'll come back with a joke like, God, that was awful. Let me restart. Right. My name's Travis. How are you?
Right.
But just having that mindset of things are going to go bad, not going to go well, and looking at your goals and understanding, like, look, what happens if this goes well? What happens when it goes right? The world is your oyster, as they say, but it starts with your positive attitude. It starts with your mindset. I mean, it tells us over and over in the Bible that all things are possible to him that believeth. Believing the fact that it will be done directs your mind to go and start noticing them. The things, they call it the reticular activating system. I'm not going to go too much into this, but the RAS, as they call it, it blocks out. If we were to pay attention to everything around us, we would literally drive ourselves insane. So the mind blocks out everything that's not relevant. So if you're giving them the mindset, instructions, this is what we want. You start visualizing your success. You look at your vision board as some people do. Yeah. You write your goals down over and over again. You start doing it. The mind picks it up, starts believing it. Now, have you ever been thinking about a goal, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, a certain book pops up, or like something grabs your attention that happens to be the fact that it lines in with your goals.
Right.
That same book has been there for the entire time you've seen it. You just never paid attention to it because your mind hasn't picked up on it.
Right.
So much we can go into hours and hours and talk. I love this idea. I think 90% of all success, I think, is mindset. Is starting. The rest is work. The same thing with golf. I love golf. We both love golf. But 80 to 90% of it is mindset.
Absolutely.
So having that mindset of the things are going to go well, your life will change immensely. Surrounding yourself with people that are very positive, that always encourage you to chase your dream. There's no better feeling out there. And I think that's something. And yes, we can talk about, my family. I can't really get rid of my family. Yeah, you can't really choose your family, but you can also choose to, limit your time with them.
Right.
Focus your time on people that are going to build you, because you only have one life. Why not, surround yourself with positive people that are going to make you enjoy life,
right,
rather than bring you down.
Right. There's so much more that we can really talk about this. And I think, honestly, this might be a topic that we bring up again, maybe make it a two-parter, because, honestly, there's so much to it. As I think about it, there's even as you think from a sports analogy, think of Rudy, right?
Yeah.
Small stature, not by any means athletic form, but that person, true story, it's all about his mindset. That'd be something we're going to talk about in the next one. So I appreciate everyone's time today, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.